Hello there, I am on day 16 of the Miracle Morning. I have a small dog jumping up at my leg. I'm just going to put her on the floor. There we go. Today I wanted to talk to you about the discipline of self-care, and what I mean about this is that last week you might have noticed I was launched crazy with my live 10-day tapping challenge, and because I had so much work to do on that with email automations and chasing people and just all sorts of really cool stuff that I really enjoyed doing, but it was all very business work related. So I did let my Miracle Morning slip, and what I found myself doing was I was still getting up early, but I'd do my 5-10 minutes of meditation, and then I'd be straight back into, oh, I've just got to do this one email, or I've just got to create this one meme, or whatever it was. And before I knew it, I was at the point where a couple of days ago I noticed that I actually didn't want to get up for the Miracle Morning. And I thought, okay, what's changed here? So the first thing is having that awareness, and this goes for all of you in any area of your life. If something doesn't feel right, the first key and the first step to changing it and creating a change that you want to see in your life is having that awareness and then taking action. Thinking about what is it that I need to do in order to move myself out of this place of pain. I know pain might seem like a strong word, but for now, let's say, we'll use pain because it's descriptive. So that pain can be anything from emotional eating and feeling like you're attached to food the whole time and thoughts about food, or it could be anxiety, it could be physical pain, it could be absolutely anything. It could be that you're seeing breakdowns in your relationships, whether that's family, friends, whatever, romantic relationships. So be honest with yourself when you start to feel uncomfortable, or as I'm saying, a source of pain or discomfort in your life. Be honest, take a moment to think, okay, what can I do in order to move myself away from this? And, take responsible action, ask questions, talk to people. And if it's something you can do, for example, with the eating, I noticed that I wasn't taking care of myself in the way that I should last week because I was so busy. So once I realised that what was happening, I just kind of bit down and thought, you know what, next week, everything will change. So I did what I could. I went and I exercised. I made sure I was eating some greens. I stayed hydrated. And although I was eating way too much sugar because I was under pressure, and that's my go-to, and that's why I work with emotional eating, because I totally get it, people. But I knew that it was for a short period of time. I knew that once I came out of the woods of the tapping challenge prep, everything would change because I'm in control. So sure enough, this week I've started eating much better. I'm doing Jennifer Moore's detox, her whole food detox. So before any of you go crazy on me going, I shouldn't detox, this don't work. All it is going back to eating whole foods, proper foods. It's nothing crazy. It's not like just drinking water and, eating green things. There's a lot more to it, and I'm getting lots of nutrition, so don't panic. Detoxes are quite controversial, I found in my time, so I just want to put that out there. It's really just eating proper food. Okay, cool. And when I do that, when I hydrate properly and eat less sugar, I know that I feel better. I knew that was something that I could put in place to help me get to where I want to be in my health and in life in general. If you can hear that slurping, that's my dog having a really big drink behind me. Note to self, got to start doing these little chats away from the four-legged children. I apologise. If you're a dog lover, you totally get it. So what I really wanted to go back to just before I leave you is this idea of the discipline of self-care, and how actually it's something that takes practice. It's not just something that you can just pick up and put down. It's not something that once you've got it, you've got it. Sometimes you really do have to make an effort to continue it, which is why it's a discipline, why it's a practice. It's like anything. People say, spiritual practice. People who have a spiritual practice actively engage in nurturing and, building and gaining more of an understanding about themselves through spirituality. That's the same when you talk about the discipline or an act of self-care. You have to practice. It has to be something that is conscious. Which led me to believe, is the idea of balance, work, life, all that good stuff, is that a myth, or is it really attainable? And what it's the last week and a half has really forced me to do is reassess the idea of what balance truly is. because, as I said to you last week, I really felt like, you know what? It's going to be okay. I can buckle down and I can feel stressed for a few days because I know that in 3 or 4 days it's going to be over and I am in control of that. And I also knew that at any point last week when I was running around like a crazy thing, I could have chosen to stop. And I didn't. I chose to carry on. But I made a conscious decision to choose to do that to get me through to a deadline. So if you're choosing stress consciously because you know that it's not going to last forever and maybe it's actually the thing that's boosting you to get what you need to do done, that's very different. There we go. I'm just going to head outside. So just make sure that if you are in a place of stress, don't beat yourself up about it. It's fine. Make a decision. You're choosing to be in that place of stress, and you can choose an action which is going to get you out of that place of stress. So anyway, let me know. Are you someone like me who occasionally almost need a little bit of stress in your life, just for a day, just for an hour, to like buzz you up to get you through something? And don't forget that we are all human. And so we're going to have these emotions that we might class as negative sometimes. That doesn't make us a failure. Doesn't mean you're not doing something right. Doesn't mean you haven't got balance in your life. Just means that at that particular time, you're experiencing something different. You're experiencing a different part of your personality. Celebrate it. Love it. It's all part of you. Okay, let me know in the comments below when you find that stress is something that actually drives you. Remember, if it becomes a habit and something that's unconscious and you feel out of control of, that's very different. But sometimes when we've got that deadline, we almost need that feeling to get us through. So tell me, in what area of life do you feel that you have control over it? And in what areas of life do you feel overwhelmed by it, like it's in control of you? Do you have the discipline to continue your self-care even when you're feeling super duper stressed and something else feels like it's taking priority? Okay, I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you again tomorrow because I am back on board the Miracle Morning Wagon. Bye.